For caregivers, communicating with elders can be a challenge. Therefore, caregivers need to take specific actions for maximizing their communication with elders. It is really important to adapt techniques that will help in improving communication skills. The art of listening. Active listening and being a good listener is a key element of effective communication and is sometimes more difficult than talking. Even when caregivers are not doing any talking, active listening requires taking action and participating in a conversation. This action can take the form of techniques like maintaining good eye contact, which shows to the speaker that listeners pay attention to their words. Alternatively, maintaining a relaxed body posture is another technique that can be reassuring to speakers and encourage them to open up and establish a good communication channel. Jackal versus giraffe ears. Putting on jackal ears refers to habitual responses in which, when listening to others, we tend to understand their words as complaints, criticism, and intentions for constant arguing. This may lead to a situation of reciprocating through a similar negative attitude or start feeling defensive or misunderstood. However, when we wear giraffe ears, we move from judging and blaming to a level of understanding how others might feel. The focus with giraffe ears is that beneath such feeling, there are needs that should be addressed. Not interrupting. One of the most important aspects of a stimulating environment is a caregiver who can create calm spaces in which to interact with seniors and communicate without interrupting. Even when you think you're interrupting for a good reason, stopping someone from talking almost always negatively affects the interaction. It is better if you wait until a natural break in the conversation and then ask your question or offer your thought. This ensures that the interaction remains a positive conversation for everybody and does not devolve into one person interrupting and the other person feeling as though they are not really being heard. Eye contact. It is important for a caregiver to establish a consistent eye contact with the senior. Consistent eye contact indicates engagement on the part of the person who is listening. It means that you're actually listening to what the person has to say. Observe body language. Body language is an integral part of caregiving endeavour. There are cases that senior care providers may find verbal communication nearly impossible. However, that does not mean that you cannot communicate with seniors at all. It just means you need to change the way you do it. Non-verbal communication, commonly called body language, can be an effective method of speaking when age takes away verbal abilities. Using body language effectively with seniors involves not only being conscious of what your body is saying, but also being aware of the signals that they are giving off. Paying attention to the person's facial expressions and body movements. Watch for pained expressions or avoiding certain movements which may communicate pain that the person cannot otherwise express. They may also point to what they want or use other gestures to communicate when words fail. Feedback. During the communicative process, it is important to collect feedback from the other person who is involved in the conversation. As caregivers, it is important to know seniors' response to proposed activities or changes in the daily routine. For instance, after playing a game, ask them if they enjoyed it and if they feel satisfied. This will help you understand whether they would like to do it again or not, or if they would want anything to be done differently. Person-centered approach. By adopting this approach, the caregiver should focus on the individual's personal experience as the basis for social services and therapeutic effect. The seniors get involved in planning, developing and monitoring the care plan. The caregivers ask for their participation to make sure that they take into account seniors' preferences and chosen needs, so that the daily care meets their needs. Reflect. Reflection is an active listening technique that shows that both provider and receiver are at the same point. Repeating the speaker's words back can encourage people to go on and elaborate on their thoughts. Also, it is worthwhile to give words of encouragement or to paraphrase the content in order to confirm that you're listening and understanding the information. Concern. Demonstration of interest in seniors as individuals is extremely helpful in building a positive relationship. Caregivers should consistently demonstrate interest in every person they deal with.